Welcome back everyone to VeloView, your destination for deep dives into automotive legends that defined eras and left lasting marks on car culture. Today, we're traveling back to the golden yet turbulent decade of the 1970s to explore a car that was as ambitious as it was flawed, as beautiful as it was misunderstood, the Rover SD1. Though production officially began in 1976, its story started much earlier in the early 1970s, when Rover set out to design a flagship car that could stand shoulder to shoulder with Europe's finest executive saloons. The British car industry at that time was in chaos, plagued by strikes, poor management, and the merging of brands under the giant British Leyland umbrella. Yet, amid that turmoil, Rover engineers dreamed of creating something extraordinary, a car that would be modern, aerodynamic, and powerful enough to make the Germans take notice. The result of that dream was the SD1, short for Special Division 1. It was meant to replace two cars at once, the Rover P6 and the Triumph 2000 series, and represent the future of British executive motoring. From the moment it was unveiled, the SD1 turned heads. Its design was radical for the time, taking inspiration from the Ferrari Daytona, which was one of the most beautiful Grand Tourers of the early 70s. David Batch, Rover's chief designer, wanted to capture that sleek, sporting silhouette but translate it into a practical five-door hatchback. The outcome was stunning: a long, low bonnet, a sloping fastback tail, and minimal chrome detailing that gave it a futuristic, almost continental feel. Unlike many sedans of the era that looked stiff and boxy, the SD1 had a flowing, sculpted form that made it look fast even when standing still. But the SD1 wasn't just about looks. Under its elegant skin was a mechanical setup that combined simplicity and strength. It used a front-engine, rear-wheel drive layout with a live rear axle, a move that disappointed some enthusiasts who expected the independent rear suspension of the older P6. However, Rover made this decision for cost and reliability reasons, aiming to create a car that was both durable and easy to maintain. And despite this simpler suspension, the SD1 handled well, with good road manners and a smooth, predictable character that made it enjoyable to drive long distances. The beating heart of the SD1 was its engine range, and at launch, the star performer was the Rover 3500. This version featured the legendary 3.5-liter aluminum V8 engine originally sourced from Buick but refined by Rover over the years. Producing around 155 horsepower, the V8 offered smooth, effortless performance that felt luxurious compared to many rivals. It could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 9 seconds and reach a top speed of around 125 miles per hour. More importantly, it delivered that unmistakable V8 rumble, refined yet powerful, the sound of British sophistication meeting American muscle. The V8 made the SD1 a favorite among executives and even law enforcement, with many British police departments adopting it as their high-speed pursuit car. Inside, the Rover SD1 continued to break traditions. Instead of sticking to the wood and chrome-laden interiors of earlier Rovers, the design team went for a modern, driver-focused cockpit inspired by aircraft dashboards. The wide, horizontal instrument panel placed all the essential controls within easy reach, and visibility was excellent. Early models featured durable but plain materials, which some buyers felt lacked the luxury expected of a Rover, but later variants introduced plusher trim, wood accents, and leather seats. One of the SD1's biggest advantages over its rivals was practicality. Thanks to its hatchback design, it offered massive boot space and foldable rear seats, making it one of the most versatile executive cars of its time. It was elegant yet practical, a true all-rounder for families, business professionals, and enthusiasts alike. Unfortunately, the SD1's brilliance was undermined by the same issues that plagued much of British Leyland's production. The car was built at the Solihull factory, which had never been intended for high-volume manufacturing. Quality control was inconsistent, and frequent strikes disrupted production. Many early SD1s left the factory with poor paintwork, misaligned panels, and unreliable electrics. These issues badly damaged the car's reputation just as it was trying to establish itself as a rival to BMW and Mercedes. What could have been a global success story became a tale of frustration and disappointment. Over the years, Rover expanded the SD1 range with smaller six-cylinder engines, a 2.3-liter and a 2.6-liter, and even a four-cylinder 2.0-liter model for fleet buyers. There was also a diesel version later, though it never gained much popularity. A major facelift in 1982 brought better build quality, improved interiors, and more refined engineering. New variants like the luxurious Vanden Plas and the high-performance Vitesse gave buyers more choice. The Vitesse, in particular, became the hero of the lineup, featuring fuel injection and up to 190 horsepower from the same Rover V8. It transformed the SD1 into a genuine sports saloon capable of competing with BM's 5 Series and even some sports cars of its day. The Vitesse also found fame in motorsport, dominating the British Touring Car Championship during the mid-1980s and proving that the SD1's chassis and engine were truly capable when properly developed. Despite these successes, the SD1's time in the spotlight was short-lived. Production continued until 1986, but the car never fully recovered from its early reputation for poor reliability. Rover moved on to develop the 800 series in collaboration with Honda, a car that was more dependable but lacked the boldness and individuality of the SD1. Still, for many enthusiasts, the SD1 remains the last truly great Rover, a car built with passion and vision, even if that vision was hindered by circumstance. Today, the Rover SD1 has become a cult classic. Enthusiasts cherish its unique blend of style, sound, and character. A well-maintained V8 model, especially the Vitesse, offers a driving experience that's both nostalgic and exhilarating. The car feels alive in a way that modern machines rarely do, with its analog controls, muscular stance, and that throaty V8 burble that instantly connects driver and machine. It's a car that tells a story of ambition and imperfection, of what could have been if the British car industry had been stronger and more stable in the 1970s. Driving a Rover SD1 today is like stepping into a time capsule. The smell of the old leather, the mechanical feel of the gearshift, the view over the long bonnet, it all transports you back to an age when cars had personality and charm. Yes, it may not be perfect, and yes, it demands patience and care, but that's what makes it special. It's a car built by people who dared to dream big, even in the face of adversity. So that's the full story of the Rover SD1, a car that defined a generation of British engineering ambition and remains a symbol of both brilliance and tragedy in the nation's automotive history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Britain's most fascinating cars, make sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to VeloView for more incredible journeys through the world of classic motoring. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.